So, journeys, happiness and wisdom, they they complement each other. And when they do not complement, say for example, the wisdom doesn't complement, then what happens? The mind is impulsive, it is anxious, it is reactive, it is fearful. That is one of the major reasons you go to the podium to speak and you start trembling. I'm just giving one example. See, the other way of looking at the same thing, how are you today? Your mind in a waking moment, your behavior, your attitude, your thoughts entered your mind today, and based on that, you say, I'm good and bad, I'm not feeling good. Your mind, your perception. And what happens? All my experiences and perception has created this false I. So compare it with the happiness and the wisdom. The wisdom is gone, but mind is still seeking the happiness. So it is seeking the happiness in the past, in the memories, in the previous experiences. Then what happens? We start living in ignorance. We forget about the real self. We are not on a journey to find our real self. And that is why we have those 8 steps. Think, contemplate and reflect. Happiness and wisdom. Why the first 8 steps should be applied in daily life. If we don't apply it, then it really doesn't work. But once the mind starts accepting these steps in our daily life, you will find that you are away from anxiety and impulsive nature, reaction. So you can completely get rid of it? Yes, you can completely get rid of it. But I'm hungry, so I may have an impulsive nature, but that doesn't make any difference. It's okay. Oh, impulsive, I'm seeking, I'm feeling very hungry, and you take it. It's okay. It's a part of the journey. But if you think that all your natural impulse, hungry, cold, heat, so those impulses which does not harm our life, which does not create unwanted impressions that results into anxiety, fear, and duality, they do not enter into your life. So obviously every day you wake up, oh, I'm totally relaxed and I'm calm. So that is why the master says the first 8 steps. But by listening, you are also doing the 9th, 10th, and the 11th step. I will talk about it the way the master has written, which does not convey the right meaning. So that is why we are understanding this. Cultivating a conducive attitude around you, around your life, around your personal, professional, social, and the family life. In a nutshell, that is the 3 steps, 9, 10th, and 11th. But the way it is explained by the master, it has. So we will also understand that why he explains like that. So I know the signs, I know you, I know the stress, I know the sleep, and more. Do you see that? The moment you wake up in the morning, so I know everything, I know the refrigerator and etc. But I don't know who am I. So the mind makes me forget that. So that cannot be achieved without continuously, consistently following the first eight steps. But it is giving, so the master is explaining and revealing that another three steps. So we already understand now the first step is daily study. Study means that it does not either listening or learning, or you just close your eyes and start contemplating on a particular principle. Why? Otherwise, the mind will go back to its past experiences, previous experiences. It will try to, what a pizza I got. There is no requirement, but still the mind recalls it. You wake up in the morning and, I am the real self of the nature of happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Now, those impressions are turning the mind from becoming a master to a faithful servant. So, daily study. And then we recognize that I am the doer and the enjoyer because of this body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. It is an association, it is basically an identification. So you continuously live in awareness. And then what happens? You loosen the hold of being a doer and the enjoyer. Doer and the enjoyer. So what happens? It results into the purification of the mind. It is happening. All these steps are taking place in you. So once then you recognize the desire, what is now obsession prompted desire, or desire for seeking happiness outside comes to an end. Gradually it dilutes, it dissolves. When you dissolve, then only you give a space for the peace and happiness to manifest in you. Otherwise, how it is possible? The mind overpowers. Mind overpowers. So what happens in the sixth step? You awaken to the wisdom, happiness and the wisdom. That is why I named this entire series in a new year, happiness and the wisdom. But wisdom says that let there be a desire for the real self. So in every situation, you are talking to someone, casual. Now it has become a casual. Desire for the real. Let the real self evolve here. If I have to give a talk, let the real self evolve here. While dining. Live in a moment. And then comes the eighth step. What is that eighth step? Is you leave your home. Another meaning of leave your home, you experience the sense of freedom inside you. Freedom. There is a freedom inside. That is what we are seeking. Self-discovery results into freedom from ignorance and suffering. So daily application is essential. So why I'm stressing, so once you continue with these 8 steps, you will start noticing the change in your behavior and attitude. Your responses, impulsive nature towards the kids, siblings, friends, and honey. No, it is not. It has minimized. Why it has minimized? The mind has become the pure. Mind has allowed the real self to manifest in your life. That ultimately leads to awakening. Consistency in practice is required. So, when there is a consistency, you can notice the progressive development. Each step builds upon the previous ones. We instantly recognize. I studied wisdom, complement to the happiness, and the mind says, oh, I enjoy eating a particular thing. So still you go and enjoy eating that, but now mind is settled into the happiness within because of the wisdom. That wisdom says happiness is not located outside. So what happened? You have changed the very impulsive mind without doing anything, just by the wisdom, just by understanding. But that can only happen to the seeker. That can only happen to the seeker. So what happened? Now you have integrated this wisdom into your daily life. You see how these steps were. So you are integrating into this life. You wake up in the morning and you don't have a food that you like in your home. Instead of impulsive and reaction, you say happiness is within me. Let me see what is there and let me use it. You are making the mind a faithful servant, not a worse master. And if it is a master, then it is going to create a problem. Or whether that problem may be into anxiety or reaction or duality and conflict, whatever it is. So what is happening after all? Do you recognize that what is happening? There is a continuous refinement. Whether you say it's a continuous refinement of your personality, your attitude, your responses instead of a reaction, or you can say the mind is undergoing a transformation by these steps. And then what happens? So why these 9th, 10th and the 11th step? Why? I'm just giving you indirectly, and then I will talk about it directly. That these are the 3 steps, what we were doing, and you'll be amazed that if you read the phrase, it does not make any sense, but that is how a seeker has to understand. So again, you see that in the 3 steps, you settle into the wisdom. We all have an experiences of happiness or the pleasure. Everyone. We have variety of experiences. I like this coffee, I like tea, I like pasta, I like pizza, etc., 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 long list. We all have experiences. So mind has accumulated those experiences and you hammer the wisdom here. You still enjoy those experiences, but you hammer the mind with the wisdom, and that wisdom says, no, happiness is coming from outside. No, inside. Pasta is not saying that, come on and eat me and I'll be happy. So the process of settling is very important before we go further. From the intellectual knowledge to a lived understanding. In the beginning, when we started this journey of these 40 steps, it appeared as, these are the steps and they are the concept and the information in the mind. But by regular listening and learning and opening up each step, now you can see that yes, it can easily be applied in my daily life. Everything, the house is built on a concept. A piece of paper, an architect. Do you see that? Huh? The same thing applies here also. So we miss that part. No, it's a concept and principle. You have to keep in your mind that how each concept and the principles can be applied in my daily life. It takes me to a step of development and how it is helping me to change my life. So what happens, I'm changing the mental pattern. Take few examples. Impulsive mind to the responsive mind. How it happens? You wake up in the morning and you observe what you are saying. It's a bad morning. No. So wisdom comes, there is no bad morning. Impulsive mind. The wisdom teaches us to observe desires like clouds passing in the sky. Everyday mind, you have unwanted, unnecessary thoughts, You are like the clouds, pass by. So you don't get into stress. It's a bad morning, and then you say, honey says you, good morning, and you say, where is the good morning, Do you see you are living in a moment? That takes place. In the beginning, your near and dear ones will not understand, but gradually they will understand. At a higher level, I'm just giving an example. At a higher level, you have, say for example, you have an extreme pain in the body. But now it is not the impulsive mind which is responding to the pain. It is the responsive mind with the wisdom that is responding to the pain, because somewhere inside your wisdom that says, I'm not the body. Body has a pain. So it started with a concept and now it has come to a realization stage. It has come to a realization. Can it come in a day? No, it can come in a day. Or it may take some time, depending on how much you are attached to the body, how much you identify with the body. Less the identification, greater the progress. Provided, obviously, we are a seeker. Take another example, anxious mind. Instead of anxious mind, it is a stable mind. No, I have to speak. Then what? You have to speak. You already have a knowledge. You go to the podium and you start speaking. No, it should be organized. Everything will be organized. Don't worry about it. But why? How can you say that everything is organized? You have already learnt it. You have already understood it. You are a master of your profession. So where is the problem? Are you getting it? It becomes very difficult to organize the information and the thought when we go to the podium and start speaking. There is nothing. But yes, only provided that wisdom stays there. So that wisdom, that intellect says, oh, this is the group, this is the topic, and then I have to simply, wisdom says why, what, how, apply the 5 W's and it is done. Anxious mind to the stable mind. That is another progress that we experience in our life. In a stable mind takes you to the next step. Reactive mind to the reflective mind. I'm just giving some examples. The reactive mind to the reflective mind. No, he is my teacher and he is my guru. One guy yesterday was saying from India, I said, what did you learn from a guru? That is important. Simply by saying that he is my guru and then you close your eyes. It is not going to change you. Now, how can I reach there? He has reached. That Guru is also a human being. You see the hidden problem with the mind, the reactive mind and the reflective mind. I don't want to clean myself because I have taken for granted that Guru. I go to the I go to the place of my Guru and I seek his blessing. Okay, so you have sought the blessing? Yes. You came out of the monastery? Yes. So then what happened? Did it change your behavior and attitude? No, I was into the same anxiety. I still have those fears. Then you have not gone there. Means knowledge. Guru means knowledge. It has to dispel the knowledge. Fearful mind to a confident mind. Fearful mind to a confident. Do you see? All these great coaches in US are teaching leadership and executive coaching. They have different beautiful words. Transformational coaching. You can use them if you are into that profession. You can use them. Oh, this is what the transformational coaching is. On 21st, from LinkedIn, one guy is taking my interview. Will ask you extempore questions. I said that is what it should be. We will not charge you. I said if you charge me, I should not join it. I'm not interested. So fearful mind to a confident mind. Now, so I gave you a few examples of reactive mind to stable mind, fearful mind to confident mind, and impulsive to responsive mind. So what is happening inside you? Just what is happening inside you? What is happening inside you? Think of it. Equanimity. You're settling into the equanimity. There is a natural expression. You experience the sense of inner freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from compulsive nature. That mind is always compulsive, No, with a disclaimer I'm talking, Christina is also there, otherwise she will say that you have been a teacher, now is the time to sue you. So with a disclaimer I'm saying, we all have, you should agree, we all have compulsive nature, which fits into the society that we are living at the normal level. But if it does not fit into the society, over impulsive or under impulsive, we are diagnosed as a problem. Wisdom dissolves it. Wisdom dissolves it. I observe wisdom. I observe my nature. Oh, hold on. Where is happening? Take care of the mind. So you get a freedom from the compulsive pattern. There is a natural attachment from these practices. There is a spontaneous expression of wisdom in action. How it happens? Because of the discernment and dispassion. Because of the discernment and dispassion. In the morning, one thought came to me. Duality. Yeah, I'll tell you just if it comes to my mind. That is the nature of the mind, The mind cannot stay with the wisdom, and all these steps helps the mind to change. That change is known as transformation. That change is known as the leadership coaching or executive coaching. You can use different words. I appreciate them. They are using these words, but don't take it too don't get obsessed with it. Leadership coaching, how can I join? I'm not a leader. American society works totally in a different way. They pick up one thing and they focus completely on that thing and they explore, and then they create a program or a workshop and then they work on it. That's a wonderful thing. It helps. It helps a great deal. But here we are talking about the inner transformation. Transformational coaching does not take place outside. I have to understand the very nature of the mind and very nature of the knowledge and the concept. And then I have to bring them all together. 8 steps. Do you see? So you can cover the first part of the transformational and executive coaching by these 8 steps. Unsettled. Simple example our master gives. A lake during the storm. Waves are there, the mud is there, unclear reflection is there. Process, daily study and purification, daily following of the 8 steps. Settled wisdom, like a clear mountain lake. I gave you an example of the flute player. Flute is empty inside. That empty brings the live in a moment, or what we say, the choiceless awareness. I'm bringing those concepts clear. So this is what happens in our daily life. Think of this. Contemplate and reflect. So the more you contemplate and reflect on these 8 steps, and check every day that, some behavior, attitude has changed or not. No thought of comes, it's a bad morning or it's cold or everything goes. Animal, is also experiencing the cold. What they do? They find some cave to hide. What we do, clothes. A choice is there. That is what the wisdom is. Oh, it's very cold, I don't know. Don't allow the mind to take over. Are you getting it? Don't allow the mind to take over. Even in small things. Even in small things. What will happen? You will develop the endurance. So from the division, duality, we move to discernment and a dispassion. Well, we always find all those conflict. Conflict means the duality. And division. What is division? This is hot, this is cold. This is good, this is bad. At a transactional level, it's okay. Everything is okay. But don't allow the mind to become impulsive. Are you getting it? Don't allow the mind to get impulsive. We are living in a world, and that entire world is full of dualities, full of contrast. Oh, this laptop is good and that is not good. We will find out. But no impulsive, no anxiety. So what is happening? You are allowing the intellect to settle this wisdom in the mind. Intellect can easily understand the wisdom. Where's the problem? We all have a human intellect. So here is the concept. But though that concepts are translated into a living examples by the 8 steps. But hidden is the 9th, 10th, and the 11th step. So we don't have too many people. It's very good to have a longer practice. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed, and find out place, position, and posture. Mind will always create some problem with the position and the posture. There, the wisdom is the guide. Do you see wisdom is the guide? So I ask my body to settle down with the wisdom. And what is that wisdom? Or you can say concept. Place, position, and posture. Concept comes from conception. I conceive. And then you have a perception. And if the perception in the mind is clear, it will translate into sensation. What is sensation? It is your experience. From where you bring all these words, that is how I have been doing this journey. And being comfortable, it is conception. And then mind says, oh, you are already comfortable. And the next moment it changes the position. Okay, that is why the wisdom has to be there. See that. You just see how these principles are applied. Oh my goodness, yes. Conception, and then there is a perception. Perception is knowledge. Conception is also knowledge in the seed form. Do you see that? Oh, yes, I see that. And being carefree. Conception, perception, the knowledge at applied level, that is what the perception is. And sensation, this is what we say, the same knowledge is experienced. Our masters have done so much. And then we are aware of the breath. We are aware of the breath, flow of the breath. And I already said that flow of the breath, why we are doing it, to have the third eye. What is third eye? It is a clear perception, for example, of water and the waves. So clear perception means what? Clear perception means simple. That my intellect perceive wave in the water as one entity. I'll just give you a tip, how our masters, they start with a simple metaphor and they reach to the highest level of a perception. Oh, have you seen? Wave in the water is one entity. Oh, do you have a perception of the real self inside? Yes. So that real self and the people outside are different? No. Third eye. But I'm taking this perception in a different way to help us evolve. How? The first neighbor. The world outside full of dualities. Secondly, where is the physical body identification? The moment I'm in a waking state, identification has to be there. But if I'm aware of that, it is only an identification, then I'm living in wisdom. You already know that I introduced some subtle principles in a session which I expand in the next session. The same, the breath and the energy, the life. life is life is nothing but an exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Really? Put the same thing into the dead body. Do you see that? It is not there. Fourth is the mind. Mind is filled with the dualities. It has to perceive, and the intellect and I-ness in the intellect. So we are putting the knowledge in our intellect. You put the subtler knowledge, the I-ness is going to dissolve, which supports our impulsive and the crazy mind. Just see that. I will expand this. What is this? Conception, perception, and sensation. And the sixth is also a perception of the ignorance. How do I know? I don't know the real self, hence it is ignorance. Very subtle. And then we don't wait. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Conception and perception. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be. Because if I don't start with it, then what I'm searching after all? You may have some doubts about Mangalacharan. And if you don't have doubt, beautiful. But if you have hidden doubt, that too will go away. May there be happiness for all. So I use in many ways. Happiness is our essential nature. It is the essential nature of every human being. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham, Purnam Bhavatu. Follow the same conception, perception, sensation. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Now looking inside the forehead in the space. You conceive. Here is a space. So after conception you have a perception. In relationship, oh, I feel some sensation here. And there you drop Om Shanti, my friend. Yes. And start breathing into the rib cage, long, deep in the hissing breath. and you already know stillness should continue. Om Shanti inside the forehead and the deep, long, and the hissing breath into the rib cage means it has nothing to do with quick expulsion of the breath. Both inhalation and exhalation are equal, and there is an expansion and a contraction of the entire rib cage. Continue. Long in the deep and the hissing breath continues. Continue breathing, but maintain the stillness in the body. Mind will say definitely, but don't listen to the mind. We have already understood that and we have already applied. Endurance and the joy of doing the practice. Beauty of the Eastern wisdom is it explains each and every aspect. It gives you the reason. It may appear as a ritual outside for a lot of people who are non-seekers. So we are not going there. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath. So you see the mind is filled with all kinds of sensation. It divides. This is good, this is bad. No, this is more, this is less. This is. So the mind will continue until the time comes when the wisdom takes over, and then what happens? You already know it. So can we say knowledge is 50 and the practice is 50? Now leave this, allow your breath to be normal and pay attention to the flow of the breath. Check they are equal, good, not equal, good. Continue to pay attention. On the other hand, now come to the sensation. So we teachers know just from the point of view of conception, perception, and sensation. Sensation has changed. Mind has to change. So you are aware of the calmness and the relaxation and okay. So if that is so, pay attention again to the space inside the forehead. Start dropping Om Shanti and start breathing in long, deep, and the hissing breath into the belly. So, what is the indication that we are doing it right? That comes to the mind. Mind means sensation, experiences. So, the intellect says, what it says, as you inhale, the belly expands like a balloon. The moment you exhale, the belly contracts like it touches the spine. Long, deep in the hissing, equal breath. Om Shanti continues, stillness continues. Who takes hold of the entire, if I say, situation? It is the intellect. Conception and perception. Mind says, no, I am feeling discomfort. Intellect says, apply this. You have some problem with the perception. That is how we say, no, I have problem with this guy. When I look at this guy, you see how subtle and deeper the understanding is. Yes, it is the mind because of the sensation, pulse, stops, reacts to the step. No one is going to save except the wisdom. Understand it clearly. First, the wisdom has to intervene. The intellect has to make it clear to the mind this is the perception. We in Arizona, many people do tracking. Oh, mountain is so high? No, I will track it. And when you change the mind from its impulsive, anxious, fearful sensation, wanted to take over, the practice, regular practice prevents it. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath into your belly with Om Shanti dropping inside the forehead in the space in the state of relaxation and stillness in the body. Relaxation and stillness in the body. Again, it has come down to the sensation. You see, that is how we change what is known as transformation. And now stop this, pay attention to the flow of the breath. Now again you check that flow of the breath. It's a happening it's just happening, natural happening. So we are minimizing the interference of the doer created by the mind. No, you need not to do anything, just a flow of the breath. And in that flow of the breath, recognition that this mind works in the world to identify through the senses, but we want to keep all these sense organs within the mind. How? Drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of your fingers. You're not physically touching, and still you will experience those sensations. Oh, sensation can happen even without touching, yes. Perception can happen without. What is happening? You're bringing the wisdom to the mind. Why? Transformation. Why? Change in behavior and attitude. Change your impulsive and reactive nature. You see, in each step. Or you can explain it through conception, perception, and sensation. Yeah, dropping Om Shanti. So that is how I explained you in a very raw manner that what that you are doing it. Oh, you're dropping Om Shanti. You hear it, and that hearing faculty of the hearing is in the mind. The faculty of sensation of touch is in the mind. Of sound, of touch, they all are in the mind. Oh, so mind can do it? Yes, it can do it. So again, it is mental, non-verbal dropping of Om Shanti, the mantra on the 16 segments of the fingers. Modern psychology looks from outside. It says, oh, you are focusing on that. No, we are doing something more than that. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. And now you're looking inside the heart. Visualize the triangle of any color, equilateral triangle pointing upward. You see, all these are concepts, but you perceive. We are pushing the intellect to a certain degree to prevent the mind to return to its old habit, and then we ask the mind to visualize, to see, to move. To move the mind with Om Shanti on each side of a triangle, we raise awareness, attention. How? Check that it is sinking. And once you feel the sinking, the last point is also very subtle. So here we are saying that we are by singing mentally, we are pushing the mind. Deep inside the cave of our heart, we realize, we recognize the mind seems to stop. We say Shanti, and after that, doing nothing. Why? So when you do nothing, perception stops? No. Sensation stops? No. Conception stops? No. Master says if your perception, conception, and sensation moves according to the principles, it will result into awakening. But if you introduce anything, what it means, your mind. Perceptions. Sometimes we may have a perception that I'm infinite. Why? That identification has dropped. So we have many perceptions. Continue. I'm just reminding. I need not to say and speak anything. Still, I'm reminding you. So your mind is aware that I'm with you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences and bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. If you have any question, you can ask. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you, fine. A deep, seamless, and comfortable meditation. A lot of sensations in the body after the breathing, especially the second round, and then just darkness and calmness at the end. Thank you.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful, deeper experience. How are you, David and Jerry? Terry, I don't see you.
Thank you. The the meditation was very, very deep. To Dennis's point, after the second breathing exercise went extremely deep. I was able to practice stillness in the mind when I had this housefly buzzing around my head. But I managed to stay deep in that. The lesson is just sort of more evidence of application of wisdom in every aspect of our life, but particularly the perception of the mind stuck out for me from the lesson today. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, that's a beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. The meditation was really deep. I'm just fine through the nyasa and the breathing and the 16 segments. It just get deeper and deeper and deeper until I don't really hear your voice too much anymore.
Good.
And as I think David just said, the wisdom, we have opportunity just every day to notice. More often, I think what I notice is when the wisdom isn't applied. So now it's being applied most of the time. And so those opportunities when it isn't applied, I see it right away.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a recognition. That is a part of discernment and dispassion. So discernment and dispassion has to do with the 9th, 10th, and the 11th step. That's beautiful. How are you, Christina?
Thank you so much. I felt like almost like an electric charge throughout my body during the meditation, and my hands were shaking. So that was a new experience. And I noticed the over identification that I have with so many things. And it just helps me to get clarity on any time I'm feeling anxious or upset or that I'm over identified with. It could even be like my kids are in the background today. I could be over identified with being a seeker and feel frustrated because of that, So it was sort of really making it clear anytime I feel that I can remind myself I'm over identified with whatever
Yeah.
it is.
That's a right phrase that used. The moment we have an identification, should I talk? Yeah. Other identification, then you have an attachment, then you have an emotional dependence, and that causes the delusion, and delusion causes the suffering. So there is a clarity in our East. Why we feel so confident because of this knowledge, the knowledge that is passed on to us. And if you understand it clearly, there is no parallel to it. Terry, are you there? Or
Yeah.
yes, I don't see you. That's why I asked you.
Yeah, I'm having trouble looking at the computer.
Okay.
So
It's okay. It's
I'm,
okay. It's okay. Do you want to
but,
share?
well, I mainly have just been observing my mind and noticing that
Good.
what my thoughts are most of the time, and it is very useful to become aware of it and to train the mind, because otherwise it undermines you.
Yes.
And thoughts are usually obsessive and related to either the future or the past.
Yes.
I haven't noticed much else, so
Good.
that way I've told my mind, all right, I don't need this. I don't need to think about this.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yeah. That is definitely a part of the discernment and awareness. Oh, it's a bad morning, and you have a perception. No, I don't need you. So when you don't need that thought, that very conception of a bad morning, do not allow the mind to superimpose on the morning that it is a bad morning. Are you getting it? Did I do something, make it clear? Or you can rephrase it. So you see, it is all the things, and I have a pain, and then followed by I cannot walk, I cannot talk. So you see that very awareness of a perception. Now what Jerry was saying, that she went go deeper and deeper and deeper. So it is also a perception. It is also a perception. So now in that perception, what happens? What happens? What happens? Can you just conceive? Again, perception goes to, so it's going deeper and deeper. So it is leaving all the garbage of the mind behind, leaving everything, leaving everything, leaving everything. That is why we have a metaphor. Where is that metaphor? The glass is full of dirty water. Allow it to settle. So when you settles, what happens? There is a mind is very clear, water. In that reflection, we recognize the real self. What is this? That is what is known as the awakening. Am I logical, Dennis? Yeah. Dennis used to ask very softly, but this. He always used to ask those, when I used to go to Ukraine, so I remember. So now his intellect is being satisfied step by step. But still, there is more to go. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.